Imagine standing in front of a mirror, looking deep into your own eyes. What do you see? A friend or a foe? A supporter or a saboteur? The truth is, the greatest battle you'll ever face isn't against the world. It's against yourself. You against yourself, this is the ultimate showdown, the fight that determines your destiny, your success, and your happiness. Every day we wake up to a battlefield. The enemy, our own doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs, the stakes. Nothing less than our dreams, our potential, and our future. It's a silent war, often invisible to others, but raging within us with incredible intensity. This battle shapes every decision we make, every risk we take, and every opportunity we either seize or let slip away. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of pursuing a goal because you didn't think you were good enough? How often have you silenced your own voice, fearing judgment or rejection? How frequently have you settled for less, convincing yourself that you don't deserve more? These are all skirmishes in the ongoing war of you against yourself. But here's the thing, this internal conflict isn't inherently negative. In fact, it's a natural part of the human experience, a necessary tension that can drive us to grow, evolve, and become the best versions of ourselves. The key lies in how we approach this battle, how we engage with our inner critic, and how we harness our internal struggles to propel us forward rather than hold us back. Let's start by acknowledging the fundamental truth: we are our own worst critics. We judge ourselves more harshly than anyone else ever could. We replay our mistakes on an endless loop, magnifying our flaws and minimizing our achievements. This self-criticism can be paralyzing, keeping us stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. But what if we could turn this critical voice into a constructive one? What if we could transform our inner critic into our greatest ally? The first step in this transformation is awareness. We need to become conscious of the ongoing dialogue in our minds. Are we constantly putting ourselves down? Are we focusing solely on our shortcomings? Or are we acknowledging our strengths, celebrating our progress, and encouraging ourselves to push further? By tuning into this internal conversation, we can begin to shift it in a more positive direction. But awareness alone isn't enough. We need to actively challenge our negative self-talk. When that voice tells us we're not good enough, we need to question it. What evidence do we have to support this belief? What evidence contradicts it? Often we'll find that our harshest self-judgments are based on unfounded fears rather than facts. By questioning these thoughts, we can start to loosen their grip on us. This battle against ourselves isn't just about thoughts, it's also about actions. How many times have we sabotaged our own success? We set goals, then procrastinate. We make plans, then find excuses not to follow through. We dream big, then play small out of fear. This self-sabotage is another manifestation of the war within us, a subconscious attempt to protect ourselves from potential failure or disappointment. To overcome this self-sabotage, we need to cultivate self-discipline. This means doing what needs to be done, even when we don't feel like it. It means pushing through discomfort, facing our fears, and taking consistent action towards our goals. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And as it grows stronger, our ability to overcome our self-imposed limitations grows too. But let's be clear, this battle against ourselves isn't about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or never experiencing self-doubt. These are part of the human experience. Instead, it's about resilience. It's about getting back up when we fall, learning from our failures and using them as stepping stones to success. Every time we choose to persevere in the face of our own self-doubt, we win a small victory in this ongoing war. One of the most powerful weapons in this battle against ourselves is self-compassion. We often treat ourselves with a harshness we would never direct towards others. We berate ourselves for our mistakes, hold ourselves to impossible standards, and deny ourselves forgiveness. But what if we could treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we offer to our friends? Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses or avoiding responsibility. Instead, it means acknowledging our humanity, accepting our imperfections, and treating ourselves with kindness as we strive to improve. Another crucial aspect of this internal battle is the conflict between our present self and our future self. Our present self often wants immediate gratification, the comfort of staying in bed instead of going to the gym, the pleasure of spending money now instead of saving for the future. Our future self, on the other hand, wants us to make choices that will benefit us in the long run. This tension between short-term desires and long-term goals is at the heart of many of our internal struggles. To win this particular battle, we need to develop a strong connection with our future self. We need to vividly imagine the person we want to become and the life we want to create. By making this future self real and tangible in our minds, we can strengthen our resolve to make choices that align with our long-term goals. Every time we choose long-term benefit over short-term pleasure, we're winning a significant victory in the war of you against yourself. One of the most insidious ways we fight against ourselves is through comparison. In today's interconnected world, it's all too easy to measure our lives against the carefully curated highlight reels of others. We see someone else's success and feel inadequate. We observe another person's achievements and feel like we're falling behind. This comparison game is a battle we can never win, because there will always be someone who seems to be doing better than us in some aspect of life. The antidote to this self-defeating comparison is to focus on our own journey. We need to remember that success is not a zero-sum game. Someone else's achievement doesn't diminish our own potential for success. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should compare ourselves to who we were yesterday. Are we growing? Are we learning? Are we moving, even if slowly, in the direction of our dreams? These are the questions that matter in the battle of you against yourself. Another battlefield in this internal war is the conflict between our comfort zone and our growth zone. Our comfort zone feels safe and familiar. It's where we know the rules, where we feel competent and in control. But it's also where dreams go to die. Real growth, real achievement, real fulfillment, these all lie outside our comfort zone in the realm of the unknown and the challenging. Every time we step outside our comfort zone, we're waging war against the part of ourselves that wants to play it safe, that wants to avoid risk and potential failure. To win this battle, we need to reframe our relationship with discomfort. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided, we need to view it as a sign of growth. We need to learn to embrace the uncertainty and the challenge that come with pushing our boundaries. Every time we do something that scares us, every time we take a risk in pursuit of our goals, we're expanding our comfort zone and winning a crucial victory against our self-imposed limitations. One of the most challenging aspects of this internal war is the battle against our own expectations. We often set unrealistic standards for ourselves, expecting perfection or overnight success. When we inevitably fall short of these impossible standards, we feel like failures. This cycle of unrealistic expectations and perceived failure can be deeply demoralizing, causing us to give up on our goals or never start pursuing them in the first place. To overcome this, we need to learn to set realistic, achievable goals. This doesn't mean lowering our ambitions, but rather breaking them down into manageable steps. We need to celebrate our progress, no matter how small, and recognize that success is a journey, not a destination. By setting ourselves up for small wins, we build momentum and confidence, giving us the strength to tackle bigger challenges. Another crucial battlefield in this internal war is our relationship with failure. Many of us have been conditioned to see failure as something to be avoided at all costs. We let the fear of failure hold us back from taking risks or pursuing our dreams. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Every successful person has faced failures and setbacks on their journey. The difference lies in how they responded to these failures. To win this battle, we need to reframe our view of failure. Instead of seeing it as a final judgment on our abilities or worth, we need to view it as feedback. Every failure holds a lesson if we're willing to look for it. When we embrace failure as a teacher, we take away its power to discourage us. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more likely to succeed. One of the most subtle yet powerful ways we fight against ourselves is through our beliefs about what's possible. We often limit ourselves based on our past experiences or the opinions of others. We tell ourselves, I could never do that, or that's not for people like me. These limiting beliefs act like invisible barriers, preventing us from even trying to achieve our dreams. To overcome these self-imposed limitations, we need to challenge our beliefs constantly. We need to ask ourselves, is this really true? Or is it just a story I've been telling myself? By questioning our assumptions and expanding our sense of what's possible, we open up new horizons for ourselves. Every time we push past a limiting belief, we win a significant victory in the battle of you against yourself. Another critical aspect of this internal war is the conflict between our authentic self and our social mask. We all have a tendency to present a certain image to the world, often hiding parts of ourselves that we fear might be judged or rejected. While this can serve as a form of self-protection, it can also lead to a deep sense of disconnection and inauthenticity. We end up fighting against our true nature, suppressing our genuine thoughts, feelings, and desires. To win this battle, we need to cultivate self-acceptance and the courage to be vulnerable. We need to recognize that our quirks, our flaws, and our unique perspectives are what make us who we are. By embracing our authentic selves and allowing ourselves to be seen, we not only reduce the internal conflict, but also open ourselves up to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. One of the most challenging battlegrounds in this war against ourselves is our relationship with change. Our brains are wired to prefer the familiar, even when the familiar isn't serving us well. We resist change, even positive change, because it involves uncertainty and the potential for discomfort. This resistance can keep us stuck in unfulfilling jobs, unhealthy relationships, or self-destructive habits. To overcome this resistance, we need to develop a growth mindset. This means seeing change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for learning and improvement. It means embracing challenges as chances to develop new skills and expand our capabilities. Every time we choose growth over stagnation, every time we step into change instead of shrinking from it, we win a crucial battle against our own inertia. Another significant aspect of this internal war is our relationship with our past. Many of us carry emotional baggage from past experiences, failures, rejections, traumas that color our present and limit our future. We let our past define us, using old stories to justify why we can't achieve our goals or why we don't deserve success and happiness. To win this battle, we need to practice forgiveness not just of others, but of ourselves. We need to recognize that our past doesn't determine our future unless we allow it to. By making peace with our past and choosing to focus on the present and the future, we free ourselves from the weight of old regrets and resentments. Every time we choose to let go of the past and focus on what we can control in the present, we win a significant victory in the war of you against yourself. One of the most insidious ways we fight against ourselves is through negative self-talk. The voice in our head can be our greatest cheerleader or our worst enemy. Unfortunately, for many of us, that voice tends to be overly critical, constantly pointing out our flaws and magnifying our futilities. This negative self-talk can erode our confidence, sap our motivation, and keep us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. To win this battle, we need to become aware of our internal dialogue and actively work to make it more positive and supportive. This doesn't mean engaging in unrealistic positive thinking, but rather treating ourselves with the same kindness and encouragement we would offer a good friend. By consciously shifting our self-talk from criticism to support, we can dramatically change our self-perception and our ability to face challenges. Another crucial aspect of this internal war is our relationship with our emotions. Many of us have been taught to suppress or ignore our feelings, especially the uncomfortable ones. We fight against our own emotional experiences, trying to force ourselves to feel differently or berating ourselves for having certain emotions. This internal conflict can lead to stress, anxiety, and a disconnect from our authentic selves. To win this battle, we need to develop emotional intelligence. This means learning to recognize, accept, and effectively manage our emotions. Instead of fighting against our feelings, we need to see them as valuable information about our needs and experiences. By embracing our full range of emotions and learning to navigate them skillfully, we can reduce internal conflict and make more aligned decisions. One of the most challenging battlegrounds in this war against ourselves is our relationship with uncertainty. Our brains crave certainty and predictability, which can lead us to avoid risks and stick with the familiar, even when it's not serving us well. We fight against the inherent uncertainty of life, trying to control outcomes and predict the future, which often leads to anxiety and missed anxiety and missed opportunities. To overcome this, we need to cultivate comfort with uncertainty. This means learning to embrace the unknown as a space of possibility rather than a source of threat. It means developing the resilience to navigate unpredictable situations and the flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances. Every time we step into uncertainty with courage and openness, we win a significant victory against our need for control and predictability. Another crucial aspect of this internal war is our relationship with our body. Many of us are in constant conflict with our physical selves, fighting against our appearance, our capabilities, or capabilities. We push our bodies too hard or neglect them entirely, ignore their signals, or try to force them to conform to unrealistic standards. This battle can lead to physical and mental stress, as well as a deep sense of disconnection from our physical selves. To win this battle, we need to cultivate body awareness and acceptance. This means learning to listen to our body's signals, treating it with respect and care, and appreciating it for all that it does for us. It means focusing on health and functionality rather than arbitrary aesthetic standards. By making peace with our physical selves and treating our bodies as allies rather than adversaries, we can reduce internal conflict and improve our overall being. In the end, the war of you against yourself is not about achieving perfection or eliminating all internal conflict. It's about learning to navigate these conflicts skillfully, to harness them for growth rather than letting them hold us back. It's about developing a relationship with ourselves based on understanding, compassion, and mutual support rather than criticism and combat. Remember, you are both the protagonist and the antagonist in this story. You have the power to shape the narrative, to choose which part of yourself you want to nurture and which you want to challenge. Every day presents new opportunities for small victories in this ongoing battle. Every choice you make, every thought you maintain, every action you take is a chance to align more closely with your best self. The war of you against yourself is the most important battle you'll ever fight. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. But here's the beautiful paradox: the ultimate victory in this war doesn't come from conquering yourself, but from making peace with yourself. It comes from integrating all parts of your being, from embracing your complexity, and from learning to be your own best ally. So, as you face your daily battles, remember this: you have everything you need within you to win this war. You have the strength to overcome your doubts, the wisdom to challenge your limiting beliefs, and the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. You have the power to rewrite your internal narrative, to choose growth over comfort, and to align your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. The journey of you against yourself is not an easy one, but it's the most rewarding adventure you'll ever embark on. It's a journey that leads to self-discovery, self-acceptance, and ultimately self-actualization. So embrace the challenge, welcome the struggle, and remember, in this battle, every step forward is a victory. You are your own greatest obstacle, but you are also your own greatest opportunity. The choice is yours. Are you ready to win the war against yourself?